In the peaceful suburb of Willow Brook, Oregon, a place where kids rode bikes until dusk and neighbors waved from porches, life felt safe in the summer of 2017. Families locked their doors more out of habit than fear. Streetlights glowed warmly. The community prided itself on knowing everyone's name. But on the night of July 22, that illusion shattered forever. Sarah Klein, 29, a kindergarten teacher and single mother to 6-year-old Mia, had just finished her nightly routine. She kissed her daughter goodnight, checked the locks twice, and climbed into bed with a book. At 2:17 a.m., she woke to the sound of breathing that wasn't her own. A shadow stood at the foot of her bed. Before she could scream, a gloved hand covered her mouth. "Don't make a sound," a calm male voice whispered. "I've been watching you for weeks." Sarah survived that night. She fought back, screamed for her daughter, and the intruder fled through the open window. But the terror had only just begun. The man the media would later call the Midnight Stalker had chosen Willow Brook as his hunting ground. Over the next 18 months, he would strike again and again, always between midnight and 3 a.m., always entering through unlocked windows or sliding doors, always leaving his victims alive but forever changed. Detective Marcus Reed, a 17-year veteran with the Willow Brook PD, caught the first report at 3:42 a.m. He stood in Sarah's bedroom, noting the lack of forced entry, the single muddy footprint on the carpet, and the faint scent of cigarette smoke that didn't belong. "This wasn't random," he told his partner. "This man knew her routine. He knew when the house was quiet." What followed was a nightmare that would test the limits of a tight-knit community and leave survivors fighting not just for justice, but for their sanity. By October 2017, 3 more women in Willow Brook had reported identical nighttime intrusions. Each described the same calm, almost gentle voice. Each woke to find a masked man standing over them. Each was touched, photographed with a phone, and warned not to scream. None were raped. The intruder seemed to take pleasure in the fear itself. Detective Reed connected the cases quickly. All victims were women aged 25 to 35, living alone or with young children. All had sliding glass doors or first-floor windows. All had been followed for weeks. One woman found footprints under her bedroom window. Another noticed her mailbox flag raised when it shouldn't have been. The stalker was patient, methodical, and invisible. The community began to change. Women bought deadbolts in security cameras. Neighborhood watches formed overnight. Parents walked their daughters home from school. The local hardware store sold out of window locks 3 times in 1 month. Yet the attacks continued. Then came the night that broke the town's spirit. On December 14, 2017, 31-year-old nurse Emily Torres woke to the intruder sitting on the edge of her bed, stroking her hair. "You're even more beautiful up close," he whispered. Emily fought back with a lamp, shattering it over his head. The man fled, leaving blood on the carpet, the first physical evidence. But he also left something else, a single red rose on her pillow. The rose became his signature. Every survivor after that night received one. 3 women agreed to speak publicly for the first time in this documentary. Sarah Klein, first victim. "He didn't just take my safety that night, he took my ability to sleep in my own home. Every creak in the floorboards still makes me freeze." Emily Torres, the fighter. "I still see his eyes through the mask, calm, almost kind. That's what terrified me most. He wasn't angry, he was enjoying it." Lauren Brooks, fourth victim, attacked March 2018. "He knew my daughter's name. He whispered it while he stood over me. I've never been so scared for another human being in my life." Each woman described the same chilling pattern. The intruder never rushed. He took his time. He spoke softly. He seemed to know intimate details about their lives, their children's names, their work schedules, even the songs they sang in the shower. The psychological toll was devastating. 2 marriages ended. One woman lost her job after panic attacks made her unable to teach. All 3 still sleep with the lights on. Detective Reed later admitted, "We were chasing a ghost. He left almost nothing behind, except fear." In April 2018, the case finally broke. A fifth victim, 27-year-old graphic designer Jessica Lange, managed to activate her phone's emergency SOS while the intruder was in her room. The 911 call captured his voice clearly. "You're not supposed to fight back." Police arrived in under 4 minutes. The man fled on foot, dropping a black ski mask in the backyard. DNA from the mask and blood from Emily Torres's lamp matched a local man, 42-year-old Daniel Whitaker, a quiet IT technician who lived 3 streets away from the first victim. He had installed security systems for half the neighborhood, including Sarah Klein's house. He knew every lock, every camera angle, every bedtime routine. Whitaker was arrested at his home at 6:12 a.m. Inside his basement, police found hundreds of surveillance photos, detailed journals about each woman's daily schedule, and a collection of red roses. He had been planning his next attack for that very night. Daniel Whitaker was convicted on 27 counts of burglary, stalking, and sexual assault. He received 4 consecutive life sentences with no possibility of parole. In his final statement to the court, he said only, "I just wanted them to notice me." The women he terrorized are still healing. Sarah Klein started a nonprofit that installs free security systems for single mothers. Emily Torres became a self-defense instructor. Lauren Brooks wrote a book about her experience that has helped thousands of survivors speak out. Jessica Lange now trains police departments on recognizing stalking patterns early. Willow Brook has changed. Neighborhood watches are permanent. Women text each other when they get home safely. The town holds an annual Light the Night Vigil every July 22, the anniversary of the first attack, where survivors light candles and share stories of strength. The Midnight Stalker took their peace, but he could not take their voices. These women turned terror into power, fear into purpose, and darkness into light. Their story is a reminder that even the most calculated predator can be stopped, and that survivors are never truly alone. As one of the women said in her victim impact statement, "He came in the night, but we chose to live in the light."